Every day, millions of people wake up, stretch, and begin their routines, yet many never stop to question why their lives feel so small, so unfulfilled. They wonder, why am I not living the life I was meant for? These aren't the questions of lazy people or those who lack potential. No, they are the silent musings of individuals who, deep down, know they are capable of something far greater, but they never quite reach it. The question isn't about wanting more, it's about what is quietly holding them back. Traps they can't see, habits they don't question, and beliefs they've internalized from the world around them. Nature once said, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. Yet, the greatest enemies of our potential are not out there in the world. They aren't external forces conspiring against us. They are invisible, buried deep inside habits we inherited from society, ideas we never challenged, and mistakes so small they slip under the radar, sabotaging everything we could become. The life we are meant to live is not one of passive existence, but one of active creation. The problem is, for many of us, the journey to become the person we are capable of starts before we even realize it. How many of us wake up in the morning, scroll through our phones, mindlessly rush through routines, and go through the motions of life as though our day has already been scripted by someone else? The days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and before we know it, years pass, and we find ourselves asking, how did my life become so small? You see, potential isn't something you find, it's something you awaken. It's hidden behind the distractions of daily life. We all have the ability to tap into our true potential, but we are taught, from the moment we're born, to conform. We're told to follow the rules, fit into the system, and live like everyone else. The path to greatness is never in the crowd, but in breaking free from it. Potential is not about waiting for the perfect opportunity, or waiting for someone's permission. It's about noticing what everyone else is too distracted to see. It's about doing what others won't, even if it seems insignificant at first. The true journey begins the moment you wake up from the trance that life has cast over you. Nature hinted at this truth long ago. To unlock your potential, you must be willing to break free from the mold society has placed around you. The world will never do it for you, and it's time to wake up. The only way to escape the trap is to realize you're already in it. You are not stuck. You are simply asleep to the possibilities before you. Most people are sleepwalking. They wake up every morning, and with a half-opened eye, scroll through their phones. There's no spark, no urgency, just the autopilot hum of a life already decided. The same routine, the same habits, the same thoughts repeating day after day. But one day, they wake up and wonder, how did my life become so small? It's like moving through the world with blinders on, unaware of the vast landscape of opportunity around them. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and those months fade into years. And by the time they realize it, they're caught in a web of habits they can't break. Nature believed that the greatest danger to humanity was not failure, it was never truly waking up. How many times have you heard someone say, "Someday, I'll make the change, when the time is right"? The truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is only the now. Life isn't found in waiting, but in acting. Potential doesn't come from being told what to do. It arises when you make a conscious choice. Ask yourself, when was the last time you made a decision that was truly yours, not influenced by your family, friends, or society? The key is simple, but profound. Startle yourself awake. The first step towards realizing your potential is stepping out of your comfort zone and questioning every habit you've adopted without thinking. The most powerful force in the world is a person who awakens to their own truth. Nature wrote, "The easiest way to corrupt a youth is to instruct him to hold in higher esteem those who think alike than those who think differently." The world will tell you to conform, but the brave souls who changed the world, they were the ones who dared to think differently. True potential is unlocked through conscious choices, not by waiting for the perfect time. But waking up isn't always easy. Our lives are full of distractions, and those distractions keep us from noticing what is truly important. Nature's wisdom warned us about the dangers of blending into the crowd. Most people don't question their routines, their habits, or their thoughts. They simply follow along, day after day. But what would happen if you woke up for just one day? If you asked yourself, "What am I doing right now, and why?" The answer might surprise you. So many of us live out of automatic reflex, doing things because they've always been done that way. We don't question why we wake up, why we go to work, or why we accept certain things as normal. The way out is to ask why. Ask yourself, what if I did something different today? What if I didn't conform to my routine? Even the smallest act of rebellion against the ordinary, like taking a different route to work, or saying something you've always wanted to say, can spark something deep inside. You don't have to make a grand gesture, but you do have to make a conscious choice. Nature's secret to unlocking potential lies in noticing what everyone else misses. The small choices we make, day after day, create the life we eventually live. One of the most insidious traps we fall into is the fear of judgment. Nietzsche warned us that this fear could be the most debilitating force in our lives. We live in a world where we measure our worth by how others perceive us. We are constantly performing, constantly shaping ourselves to fit the expectations of those around us. But the truth is, when we live for the approval of others, we become prisoners of our own fears. The greatest enemy of authenticity is the fear of rejection. We shrink ourselves to fit in, to avoid being judged. But what's the cost of this? We betray our true selves, all for the sake of fitting into a mold that was never meant for us. If we spend our lives measuring ourselves by the reactions of others, we stop hearing the voice inside us, the voice that wants us to be true to who we really are. It's time to stop shrinking to fit the mold. The most powerful force in the world is the person who is willing to be misunderstood for the sake of their own truth. And that's where growth begins. When you start speaking your real thoughts, wearing what feels like you, and acting authentically, you create a life that is truly yours. It's not about fitting in, it's about standing out in your own unique way. The path to growth lies in small acts of rebellion against the ordinary. How many times have you held yourself back from saying something because you were afraid of what others might think? How many times have you avoided speaking your truth, just to avoid the discomfort of being different? The world teaches us to blend in, to conform, but real growth comes when you break free from these societal expectations. It starts with small acts of honesty. It might be as simple as saying no when you don't feel like agreeing, or dressing in a way that feels true to you, not what's safe or fashionable. The more you step into your authentic self, the more you'll begin to see the power of living without fear of judgment. Nature saw it clearly. The most powerful people in history were the ones who refused to conform to societal pressures. When you stop seeking approval, you begin to experience growth in ways that would have seemed impossible before. Your potential is not a reflection of what others expect of you. It is a manifestation of what you believe is true about yourself. And when you start living in alignment with that belief, you'll break free from the mold that has kept you small. Comparison is one of the most destructive forces in our lives. We look at others, whether it's our friends, colleagues, or even strangers, and measure our worth against theirs. The result, we feel small, we feel inadequate. Nature warned us that comparing ourselves to others poisons our mind and blocks our potential. The more we compare, the more we lose sight of our own path. Comparison is the thief of joy, as the saying goes. But it's more than that. It robs us of our self-confidence, our ambition, and our ability to celebrate our own progress. We look at the successes of others and think, why can't I be like them? But what we forget is that everyone is on their own journey, facing their own battles, and walking their own path. No one's success is a reflection of our failure. To reclaim our potential, we must stop comparing ourselves to others. Instead, we must focus on becoming a better version of ourselves, one small step at a time. The only competition that matters is the one with your past self. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to celebrate even the smallest victories, and to let go of the envy that holds you back. The comfort zone is one of the most dangerous places you can stay if you want to realize your potential. We are conditioned to seek comfort and stability. We long for the familiar, the easy, the predictable. But comfort, while it may feel safe, is the enemy of growth. True potential doesn't lie in the comfort of the couch, the screen, or the same routine day after day. It exists outside of what is familiar and easy. Every time we choose the easy path, the path that keeps us in our comfort zone, we shrink. Every time we avoid the discomfort of challenge, risk, or uncertainty, we deny ourselves the opportunity to grow. Nature warned that growth is painful, and its true growth requires discomfort. It requires stepping into the unknown, embracing awkwardness, and taking risks. But it's only when we push ourselves beyond our comfort that we experience real change. The best version of you exists on the other side of that discomfort, waiting for you to step up and claim it. So, the next time you feel the pull of comfort, ask yourself, What would happen if you stepped outside of it? What could you achieve if you embraced the discomfort of growth? The choice is yours. Fear is one of the greatest obstacles to reaching your potential. It's a natural part of being human, and yet it holds us back from doing the very things that could help us grow. The fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, and the fear of being judged. All of these fears create invisible walls that we're afraid to break through. But here's the truth. When you let fear make your decisions, you trade your future for your comfort. Fear keeps us small. Fear convinces us that we're not good enough, that we'll fail, and that it's better to stay safe and secure. But if you want to unlock your potential, you must make fear your advisor, not your master. Whenever you feel fear, ask yourself, what's on the other side of this fear? If it's something that matters to you, it's likely the right direction. Growth is found when we act in spite of fear. Every step taken in fear is a step towards the version of you that you are meant to become. So the next time fear knocks on your door, don't run from it. Welcome it. Because where there is fear, there is the potential for extraordinary growth. We live in a world filled with distractions. From our phones to social media to constant notifications, the world is designed to steal our attention. And when our attention is scattered, so too is our potential. Nature believed that distraction is not just a modern problem. It's the perfect hiding place for an unfulfilled life. Distraction fills every empty moment with noise, preventing us from hearing the quiet voice within that tells us what truly matters. It steals our focus, divides our energy, and keeps us from making lasting progress. To unlock your potential, you need focus. You need to carve out sacred time with your own thoughts, time where you can think deeply, reflect, and focus on what matters. The world will constantly pull you in 1,000 directions. But if you allow those distractions to steal your attention, you'll never build anything of substance. Try this. Take just 1 hour a day without your phone, computer, or any other distractions. Sit with your thoughts, even if they're uncomfortable. It's in these moments of solitude and focus that the real work begins. The key to unlocking your potential is learning to focus, to center yourself, and to give yourself the space to think and create without interruption. One of the most difficult things to do is admit when we're wrong. Our pride tells us to hold on to our beliefs, our decisions, and our past actions, even when they no longer serve us. But nature warned that stubbornness is not strength, it's weakness, disguised as pride. If we want to grow, we must be willing to let go of the comfort of being right. Admitting we were wrong doesn't make us weak, it makes us strong. It means we are open to change, to learning, and to evolving into a better version of ourselves. The most powerful words you can ever say are, "I was wrong." And when you say them, you unlock the ability to change your life. Because when you change your mind, you give yourself permission to change everything. Change is not a one-time event. It happens slowly, almost imperceptibly, through the small daily decisions we make. Every time you admit a mistake, every time you change your beliefs to align with new knowledge, you move closer to realizing your true potential. So don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong. It's through this act of humility and growth that we become who we're meant to be. Greatness is not built in a day. It's built in the small, seemingly insignificant decisions we make every day. Nature understood this truth. Your potential isn't destroyed by massive failures. It's destroyed by tiny, daily mistakes that compound over time. A single bad decision made consistently will erode your dreams. But a single good decision made daily will build a foundation of trust, strength, and progress. Every small choice, whether it's reading for 10 minutes, journaling for 5, or making one brave decision outside your comfort zone, builds the life you want to live. Never underestimate the power of small actions. They are the bricks of your future. It may seem insignificant at first, but when you add them up, they create a life of meaning and success. Remember, potential isn't some grand event waiting to happen. It's the collection of small, brave decisions that we make every single day. One of the most powerful concepts for unlocking your potential is radical responsibility. This means taking full ownership of your life, your choices, and your actions. It's easy to blame others, to point to your parents, your upbringing, or even the world for the circumstances of your life. But radical responsibility demands that you own your story, regardless of external conditions. Nature believed that greatness belongs to those who take full responsibility for their lives, not those who wait for someone else to give them permission. It's not about blaming yourself for everything that's happened, but about taking charge of what happens next. Radical responsibility means accepting that while you can't control everything that's happened to you, you can control what you do from this moment on. It's about stopping the blame game and looking at your life as something you have the power to shape. Every choice you make, no matter how small, is your responsibility. And when you start owning your choices, you take back your power. When you stop waiting for circumstances to change and start creating change, you become unstoppable. Radical responsibility is not a burden, it's freedom. Freedom to shape your life, to learn from your mistakes, and to decide who you want to become. So, what's the master key to unlocking your potential? It's radical responsibility. This is the secret that nature hinted at, the one thing that separates those who live ordinary lives from those who make extraordinary impact. It's the ability to claim your life as your own, to stop waiting for others to give you permission, and to take ownership of the life you're creating. But this doesn't mean that everything will magically fall into place once you take responsibility. It means that you stop being a passive observer of your life and become an active creator. You stop waiting for the perfect moment and start using the resources you have right now to build something remarkable. Nature's secret is simple but powerful. You get to choose. When you take radical responsibility, you choose how to respond to challenges, how to handle setbacks, and how to shape your future. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstances, but as someone who creates their own path. You own your gifts, your mistakes, your wins, and your losses. And through this ownership, you unlock the door to your fullest potential. The world will try to convince you that you need more time, more money, more approval to start making changes. But nature knew that the only thing you really need is the decision to start. When you own your choices, you claim your potential. Most of us wait for the right time. We tell ourselves that we'll start when we're ready, when we have more confidence, more money, or when the conditions are just right. But the truth is, the right time will never come. Waiting is just another name for procrastination, and every moment you spend waiting is a moment you waste. Nature warned us that waiting for someday is the perfect excuse for never doing anything at all. The perfect moment will never arrive. It's easy to think that you need everything to fall into place before you can take action. But the real secret is that you start now. Whatever you need, you already have. If you want to change your life, you have to start today right where you are. It's easy to tell yourself, when I'm ready, I'll do this. But the truth is, readiness is a myth. You become ready by doing. You become the person you want to be by taking the first step, no matter how small. So stop waiting for everything to be perfect. Start with what you have, and you'll be amazed at how quickly the perfect moment begins to appear. The final step in unlocking your potential is living it right now. We often think of potential as something distant, something we will reach once we achieve greatness. But the truth is, potential is something you live every single day. It's in every decision you make, every action you take, and every moment you choose to embrace growth. Living your potential isn't about waiting for a big breakthrough. It's about showing up every day, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it. It's about making choices that align with the person you want to become, not just the person you are today. Remember, your potential isn't a destination, it's a journey. And that journey is made up of all the small choices you make along the way. The key is to stop waiting for the future to arrive and start living your potential now. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Recognize the steps you've taken and be proud of yourself for continuing on this path. Most people give up or slide back into comfort. But if you're still here, if you're still watching, then you're not most people. You're already doing something rare. You're choosing to live up to your potential. Don't just chase your potential, live it.